In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Sony 14mm 1.8 and whether or not I think that this is a good lens for real estate photo and video work. I want to start off by saying that I absolutely love this lens. I've been shooting real estate for about 10 years now. I've used a lot of wide angles and this lens absolutely rocks. With that being said, there are a lot of situations where I would not recommend this lens to somebody. So in this video, I'm going to go over some of the pros and cons with using this lens and give you a few different reasons why I would or wouldn't recommend it. This is not a technical review. I'm not really going to dive into the specifications of the lens. There are a lot of videos out there that do that. I'm mostly going to be talking about its practical use in the real estate world specifically. So without further ado, let's get into it. So starting with the pros, this lens is super light, it's very compact, and it's really easy to use on a gimbal for long extended periods of time. So if you shoot a lot of video and you do a lot of gimbal work, you really don't want a heavy setup. This isn't the lightest lens, but it is a very light wide angle lens. And for that reason, it makes it really easy to use for like long-term gimbal use. It is also great in low light. So at 1.8, this thing is a low light machine. It is a beast and it has helped me in a lot of dark shooting situations. I know this doesn't apply to photography as much because you're probably going to be locked in on a tripod and you can just adjust your shutter to get your exposure right. But for video, being able to drop down your aperture to 2.8, 3.2, 1.8 if you need to is huge and has really saved me in dark shooting situations. Another pro is the image quality. This is a really nice Sony G Master. The image quality is super sharp from the center to the edge of the frames. There is minimal distortion. Your vertical lines are very vertical, so for photography and video, this is a really good high quality lens. So now I'm going to talk about a few of the cons using this lens for real estate. The first con is an obvious one. This is a fixed lens. You're stuck at 14 millimeters. So if you get a lot of detail shots, it can be kind of inconvenient having to switch lenses to a zoom lens. Especially if you have multiple appointments through the day. In my case, I'm shooting detail shots for photos and video. I definitely find myself changing lenses pretty often throughout a shoot. This is especially annoying in shooting situations where you have homeowners there, you have construction workers, whatever's going on inside the house that's causing you to like shoot out of order and like grab things here and there. There's been some nightmare days for me where I've switched this lens with my detail lens like 6 or 7 times throughout a shoot, and that sucks sometimes. The second con I have for it is the price tag. It's expensive, it's $1,600, and for that price, there's a lot of wide angle lenses out there on the market for you, so that makes it tough for me to recommend this lens just because there's so many good options for wide angles that are, under $1,000. Another con, which isn't as important to me because I don't shoot with them very often, is the inability to use filters. So you can use filters, but you have to like rig up something on the front or in between the body and the lens just to be able to add a filter in there. So it's not very convenient for anybody shooting with filters. So now getting into the conclusion of the video, do I recommend this lens for real estate photography and video? It depends. So I think this lens would be a good fit for somebody who shoots everything wide. If you're not really concerned about getting detail shots in homes and you're just looking for a really good high quality prime that you can go through however many shoots you have through the day and not worry about it, this would be a great lens for you. So the second person I would recommend this lens to is somebody who shoots a lot of high-end projects. If you're an architectural photographer, if you shoot a lot of luxury homes, I think this would be a good addition for your lens kit. So if it's your only lens, I wouldn't recommend it. But if you already have a 20, a 24, a 35, you have a couple different lens options that you could use for some of those detail shots, I think this lens would fit perfect in your gear bag. It's honestly so compact that you might not even know it's in there. I would also recommend this lens if you shoot a lot of other projects where you just want a really good wide angle lens for. So if you shoot weddings, if you shoot landscape photography, if you shoot astrophotography, I mean, this is a huge lens in the astro world, which is one of the reasons why I got it. So if you're into shooting other projects and you just want a really good wide angle lens, get this lens. So now, who would I not recommend this lens to? The first being a new real estate photographer, somebody who's just getting started and you only have the budget for one lens, it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to get a prime lens, and it also doesn't make a whole lot of sense to spend $1,600 on it. At that price tag, you get way more versatile lenses that would enable you to do a little bit more. For instance, the Sony 16-35 power zoom, that's a great starter lens, I think, because it enables you to get detail shots. It's lightweight, it's compact. I'll end up doing a video on that lens as well. I would just say, like, if you only could get one lens for real estate, this lens is not it. I also wouldn't recommend this lens if you run a large team of photographers, just because of the price tag and the versatility issues with detail shots, like I mentioned before. You're gonna run up a huge bill trying to get this for 3, 4, 5, 10 photographers, however many people you have on your team, and it is just not budget friendly. So I wouldn't recommend it if you run a large photography team. So in conclusion, this is a great wide angle lens. Honestly, it's probably one of my favorite wides that I've ever had. If you buy it for real estate, you won't be unhappy. Your shots will look great, your clients will be happy, and you'll be happy. So don't let me sway you on whether you get it or not. If you want it, just get it. That's what I did. If you have any questions or concerns, just drop them in the comments section and I will get back to you. Thanks for watching.